Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Is Richmond Raceway America's longest short track or its shortest super speedway? Either way you look at it, Richmond embodies the characteristics of both, and is a rocket-fast challenge to every driver who competes on the three-quarter-mile oval. Racers from the Craftsman Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series find that Richmond requires both power and handling. To win here, you've got to have it all. Richmond Raceway started out as a half-mile dirt track on the Richmond Fairgrounds, first hosting races in 1953 under the name Strawberry Hill Speedway. 68 years later and 4 configurations later, there's 51,000-plus grandstand seats, 40 luxury suites, and since 1991, many events have been held in the evening under the lights. Tonight, it's the penultimate race of the IROC Challenge Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Richmond Raceway for the penultimate race of the IROC Challenge Series. 100 laps the race distance here tonight. We're running 2 sprint races, one here at Richmond this evening, and then immediately following tonight's broadcast here at Richmond, we'll switch over to Kern County Raceway for the season finale, where we will crown a champion. Let's take a look at the race details for this evening. 78-degree ambient temperature. 45% humidity under partly cloudy skies. Again, 100 laps the race distance here this evening. 100% fuel load for the drivers to work with here this evening, as well as, I think, 3 sets of tires over the wall if they so choose. Warm-up just about wrapped up. 30 seconds shy of calling it quits on that. Qualifying already in the books. Full course cautions, of course, on. Green-white checkered attempts at 3 if necessary. And I do not believe they have fast repairs. No, fast repairs are at 0 this evening. Sorry for the late start, but glad we're here to bring it to you live. All the action here at HBR TV and IROC TV. Multicasting to both YouTube channels here for tonight's last couple races of this late model stock series. We'll get right into it. Let's take a look at the starting grid here as we get an opportunity to do so. Just finishing up the warm-up before we can go into that. We'll do so, well, just a moment. Short field here tonight. We've had some dwindling numbers as the season has wound down. That's okay. These guys will still try to make the best of it. On the pole position, as well, to no one's surprise, Kyle Turzak, a lap time of 22.998 seconds. Outside front row, always the bridesmaid, Brian McCann, second quick, but just over a tenth off that top time. James Pileski in the second row, he'll start third, 2/10 off the pole. Fourth will be Timmy Schofield. Fifth starter is going to be Brandon Mefford and Doug Wysocki, sixth. Chris Wally rounds out the field in the 7th position. Drivers eligible for a championship here tonight: Kyle Turzak, Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, and Timmy Schofield will all come down to that final race here later on this evening at Kern County. It's your starting grid here tonight. Field parked on the main straightaway, not really the straightaway per se, I guess you'd call it the dog leg here. A D-shaped three-quarter-mile oval here at Richmond Raceway as we get ready to get things underway. Kyle Turzak back in his familiar black and red number 51. Of course, Brian McCann to the outside. Timmy Schofield will start from the fourth position. James Pileski will start third. Fifth starter will be Brandon Mefford. Doug Wysocki back in the number 34. He'll start sixth. And then Chris Wally rounding out the field in the seventh position. Again, race details tonight, 100 laps the race distance. Stage is coming at lap 25 and 50. Track temperature a little warm, 119 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll see what that does for everybody here tonight. There will be a caution thrown for our first stage tonight, but not for our second stage at lap 50. Pace car is in, field lined up, ready to go. Barney with the flag in hand, and the green flag is in the air. We're racing from Richmond Raceway. Turzak to the early lead, now to the bottom. James Pileski looking to the inside of Brian McCann, out of turn number 2. A little bit of a crossover there, still to the inside is Pileski. Turzak continues to lead off turn 4. He'll lead lap number 1. McCann way up the racetrack. Pileski giving him lots of room to the right side of his number 93. It's been a little while. Pileski, a part-time driver here in the series, but showing up here trying to take a trophy away from somebody. But on the outside, Brian McCann still battling back around that number 93 machine into turn number 3. Back to the stripe, Turzak still leads it. Still close quarters battle as McCann has closed in just a bit. Still worrying about Pileski to the inside. Real loose off turn number 2 is McCann. Keeps his foot down on the floorboard. Brian McCann still right there, stalking the 51 of Kyle Turzak. Finally got clear of James Pileski. I don't know if James just decided it wasn't worth the battle this early on. Tucks in behind the 3. Nevertheless, Brian McCann putting the pressure on the back bumper of the 51. Off turn number 4 once again as we come back to the stripe. Little wiggle out of the backside of Kyle Turzak. Back now into turn number 1. McCann right there, a few feet off the back bumper of that number 51. McCann still right in the tire tracks of Kyle Turzak. Might have a little bit of pace right now on him for the time being, but how much savings as far as the tires are concerned is Kyle Turzak applying to his race car right now versus Brian McCann? The last time by, both drivers ran identical lap times at 23:33. Back to the stripe. What do they run this time? Almost identical. Turzak 100th faster at a 23:41. McCann not giving up. Pileski giving both drivers some room to run their race for the time being. We'll see. And we got to move to the inside. McCann goes to the bottom on Kyle Turzak. Rear end steps out just a bit. We got a drag race back to start finish. It doesn't pay any points or money right now, but still, we got a battle for the top spot here at Richmond. A little contact. Turzak turns down into turn number 1. Gets into the right side door. Brian McCann. Both drivers still side by side out of 2. McCann tucks back in behind now, trails the 51 of Turzak into turns 3 and 4. And back to the stripe. Turzak, McCann, Pileski, single file as they work into 1. On board with Brian McCann, the driver's eye camera, courtesy of Whiplash Sim Cams. He trails Kyle Terzak still, trying to at least get that number 3, the blue and yellow machine, to the front. Contact once again off turn number 4. They go down into 1. Do they make contact this time? Doesn't look like it. McCann still to the inside, nose out in front off turn number 2. McCann not giving up, sticking to the bottom, sticking to the inside of Kyle Terzak out of turn 4 at the stripe. Looks like McCann, I don't know, he might have led that lap. If he did, it was by about an inch. Little wiggle. Brian McCann sticking to the inside of Kyle Terzak. You got to wonder what lane is going to chew up tires the most between these two. Rubbing doors again off turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Terzak almost into the outside wall, couple inches shy, but doesn't make contact. Still the side-by-side battle through turns 3 and 4. McCann real aggressive off of 4. They're banging doors to the start-finish line. Again, only 13 laps in. We're running this like it's 13 laps to go. McCann wants that top spot. He wants to get by Terzak, wants to get clear and lead this thing all by his lonesome. Terzak not willing to give an inch. Another door slam from Terzak, but McCann definitively leads that one. 3 down into turns 1 and 2. Takes over the top spot. Crossover from Terzak. Gets the bottom of the racetrack. Shoots him up to the top. Stays off the wall, but loses some track position. Now opens the door for Pileski and Brandon Mefford, who are having their own battle for the 3rd position. McCann gets alongside Pileski, the number 93, up top side. Mefford still not able to get clear. Now into 1. He's got the 3rd spot officially. So we've shuffled the deck here at the front of the field. Brian McCann, now Terzak 2nd. Brandon Mefford 3rd. James Pileski 4th. And Schofield running 5th. Doug Wysocki 6th. Wally is running in the 7th spot. Those two also having their own battle for position. Chris Wally with the preferred inside lane, at least for the time being. Wysocki digging on the outside, some contact. Gets a little crossed up, does the 51 of Chris Wally. He's going to settle back into that 7th spot as Wysocki gets clear with that contact. Back up front, still a bit of a battle here as Mefford is reeled in Terzak. Now, a potential battle for the 2nd spot starting to shape up between Brandon Mefford and Kyle Terzak. Sorry, I missed the mute button on the clearing of the throat. Got a sunflower seed stuck in there from earlier. We're good now. Back to the action. Brian McCann still your race leader. Terzak 2nd. Brandon Mefford running 3rd. All equidistant between each other. Maybe a little bit further gap from 2nd to 3rd, but Mefford still right there. Pileski has lost some ground, but again, the question remains, is this tire strategy for James Pileski? He usually runs pretty quickly around these places. Right up there with pace with Kyle Terzak, but running mid-pack in the 4th position. Again, the drivers do have 3 sets of tires over the wall, so 4 if you count what they started with. More than enough. Just a matter of how many do you want to take? How much time do you want to spend in pit lane to get that pit work done? Do you want to take just rights, or you want to go fuel only on this first stop? No sense in really trying to save a set or two. Might just all come down to track position. On board with Brian McCann looking back at Kyle Turzak. Turzak seems to be slightly rejuvenated after that early battle. He's running lap times about a half-tenth quicker than McCann at the present. So we close in on the end of stage number 1, just that quick. McCann with the lead. Turzak just a couple of feet off the back bumper of the 3 as they work out of turn 2. Brandon Mefford gets a piece of the wall on exit of 2. Not a lot, just a tiny scrape that right rear. Might affect the side force slightly in that late model. We'll see what happens as this race continues on as we close to the end of stage number 1. Turzak taking a look to the inside as they enter turn number 2. He's there. Jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack. Turzak looking for the lead back and maybe a stage win. Up the racetrack goes Brian McCann at the stripe. McCann's got it. When does the caution come out? They're going to complete this lap. McCann sticks to the outside of Kyle Turzak. Now 3 and 4. Turzak with the preferred lane, but does McCann have enough to build the momentum off 4 at the stripe? Turzak, hard to say. I think it was Turzak. Got that stage win. Awfully close.
Green flag. I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
Back at Richmond Raceway, you just saw it there in the side-by-side. Some contact between James Pileski and Brandon Mefford. That was the battle for the second spot. Pretty significant impact as Pileski now has some right front damage on that machine. Mefford took over the second position during that exchange. Meanwhile, out front, McCann still in command of this race. Brian McCann with a 1.6 second advantage back to Brandon Mefford in the second position. Last laps for Brian McCann was a 23.54, a tenth faster than Mefford at a 23.64. James Pileski at 23.87. No doubt the damage to that machine affecting the pace. 23.60 for Kyle Turzak in fourth. Certainly having some good pace still in that fourth spot. Been caution-free with the exception of the stage break up into this point. Certainly a caution would definitely help the competition as far as Turzak getting caught up. Remember, Turzak took 4 tires. They're likely starting to come in at this point, which is my bet as to why he's still turning some pretty quick laps and starting to gain now on the top 3. Pileski there next on the list. Dives to the inside. Pileski knew it was coming, gave him the space. Third place now goes to Kyle Turzak. McCann still with a 1.8 second lead over Mefford. 3.2 back to third place, Kyle Turzak. As Kyle said in the post-stage 1 interview, work is not done yet. Man, he's sliding that car too off turn number 2. We saw James Pileski doing the same, but after a while, I think the right rear tire just gave it up. Top 2 drivers, though, still hanging tough out front. Only taking right side tires. Oh, Turzak in the fence off turn number 2. He's pushing the car hard. Really wants to get up there and battle with the top 2. Don't beat yourself. That's what they always say. Take what the car is going to give you. You got a third place car, take the third. Now, with the number of wins Turzak has this season, I don't think he's ever really had a third-place car here, but seems to be pushing the envelope pretty hard right now, trying to reel those top 2 in. Don't know if he's going to have the pace to do it here with 31 laps remaining. He's proven me wrong before. Time will tell. Up in the second spot still, Brandon Mefford. 2 seconds now in the rears compared to Brian McCann, who continues to lead this race. And real loose off at 2 is Mefford. He gets a piece of the wall. Looks like he's got more than just a piece. I think he had an issue there getting into the fence prior to even that incident, as the right front showed a little bit of damage even prior to contact there. Granted, that could have been from the dust-up with himself and James Pileski. Either way, Mefford trying to get closer and closer, but unfortunately, Brian McCann getting smaller and smaller out the front windshield of that machine. Yeah, Brandon Mefford appears to be battling some handling issues there in that second spot. .75 laps go up on the board. 26 laps remaining. McCann able to dial it back just a bit, take care of those left side tires that have been on since the drop of the green flag. I don't know if McCann has put in some work this week trying to see if those left sides would make it full race distance here at 100 laps. Either way, the strategy's paying off. And frankly, I'm not really sure here. You're looking at the lap times. Turzak ran a 23.65 the last time. to McCann's 23.56. We're talking almost a tenth slower than the race leader, though Turzak does have the fresher tires. Don't know if maybe one of the cars sustained some damage in the contact that was made multiple times in those first 25 laps, or if it's just not as good on 4 as it is on 2. We'll see if that plays out here, or if these drivers even make an attempt at another pit stop, especially under the green flag. I don't think they're going to have to do that to make it to the end. Time will tell. I don't know what the fuel window is, but they were given a full load of fuel to start this race, and I would assume during the pit stop, the end of the first stage, drivers, if they needed some fuel, they were able to top it up. So 75 laps roughly, maybe a little bit less actually, given the caution laps post-stage break. They should be able to make it all the way to the end, would be my guess. Meanwhile, Chris Wally has hit pit lane, and I think this is more due to some damage. The machine on the right side doesn't look the greatest. Trying to get a better look, but Chris Wally might be out of this one. 79 laps complete as McCann crosses the stripe. Lap 80 will go up on the board. McCann now stretches that lead to 3 full seconds over second place Brandon Mefford. Mefford has about 2 seconds plus on third place machine Kyle Turzak. Not a whole lot of battling going on for the time being, but at lap 77, we do have an indication Chris Wally did crash, so let's get a look at that, see what happened here to the 51 machine. Got the fence hard on exit, tried to save it, and then pancakes the left side. Ooh, that's not a fun place to hit either. Pretty significant impact for Chris Wally, and that's going to do it for him. James Pileski still back in the 4th position, uncontested for the time being. Still, though, showing that right front damage. See if he can nurse this one home to the finish as Timmy Schofield there in the distance. About a third of a straightaway behind. He may be able to reel him in. Let's look at the lap times here. 23.92 for Schofield versus a 24.07 for James Pileski. About a tenth and a half between the two per lap. Going to be close. Meanwhile, Doug Wysocki back in the 6th position. Tim Schofield getting a little bit larger out the rear view of James Pileski's machine. Back to start finish. 16 laps to go. Deficit now about 1.1. Back to the 12 of Tim Schofield. You hear Pileski really playing with the throttle out of turn number 2. Oh, looks like Pileski's going to hit pit lane. So I guess this is the question. Is this a matter of I just got to get the tire fixed here? Did he get a meatball flag? Did he blow the right front? Or does he have to make this stop for fuel? Don't know. If the rest of the drivers follow suit here in the next couple of laps, that'll be our answer. If not, well, I guess that'll be the answer too. Pileski into the pit stall. He's going to put right sides on it, maybe just make it handle a little better and cross his fingers for something to happen. Drops the jack, back at it. My guess is meatball flag for the right front. Strictly a guess. Race leader Brian McCann still in charge here down the back straightaway. Brandon Mefford runs second, 3.8 seconds behind. Mefford in second crosses the stripe, as does Turzak. 11 laps remaining here at Richmond. Again, stay tuned, folks. If you're still watching right now, we do have one more 100-lapper coming up immediately following Richmond. We're going to be out at Kern County through the magic of the internet. We can go from Richmond to Kern County in just a couple of minutes. Brian McCann still turning laps in the high 23 category. Kyle Terzak the same. McCann was a 23.70 to Terzak's 23.97. Given that Terzak has the fresher overall tires, the 4 tires, versus McCann's rights only, I just have to imagine that Terzak sustained a little bit of damage in that early battle between himself and McCann. It's the only thing that I can guess is the issue. Not to say McCann isn't capable. He was certainly fast early on, as we witnessed in that battle. But I expected Terzak to at least be a part of this fight as the race wound down. 8 laps to go for McCann. Doug Wysocki might be hitting pit lane. Indeed, he is. Wysocki to the pits with 7 laps to go. Again, I don't believe it's for fuel. It's likely just a tire situation, whether it's right front, right rear. .34 in his pit box. Right side tire change. I'd imagine that's all he's going to do here. Down he goes. Right side tire change only for the 34. He's back in it. Looking for some extra comfort, I would imagine here. I think, and then Pileski actually took the spot back from the 34. 5 laps to go. Wysocki giving up some points. Meanwhile, Brandon Mefford has reeled Brian McCann in here with less than 4 laps remaining. McCann was up almost 4 seconds. Now it's 1.5 and closing quickly. I don't know if McCann's got a problem with his right front at this point. Tail end of the car not stepping out at all, so that's not telling us a whole lot other than the fact he might be tight on corner exit. But now the deficit shrinks again, 1.3 seconds to Brandon Mefford. Two laps to go for Brian McCann. McCann across the stripe, white flag in the air. Final lap for the 3. Brian trying to pick up his 6th win on the season. Under a second, the deficit back to Mefford, but I don't think it's going to be enough. A couple more laps maybe, but with a couple corners remaining, I think Brian McCann is well on his way to another race win. Off turn number 4, checkered flag waves. Brian McCann wins it at Richmond. Brandon Mefford rolls to a 2nd place finish, and Kyle Terzak way in the back, still going to finish in P3. Brian McCann, your race winner. Quickly parks it on the backstretch. Hope we get our top 3 drivers into the broadcast booth for a quick word before we roll into Kern. taking a quick look at the race results before we talk to our drivers. Brian McCann, of course, your race winner. Brandon Mefford was second. Kyle Terzak third. Schofield was fourth. Pileski fifth. Wysocki sixth. Chris Wally, after a crash, finishes in the seventh spot. It looks like we've got a couple of drivers. First, we're going to go to Brian McCann and talk to the winner of tonight's race here at Richmond Raceway. Brian McCann, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got me?
Hey, I do. How's it going?
It's going good, sir. Congratulations on the race win here tonight. Watching a great battle in that first stage between you and Terzak. Banging doors for quite some time. I don't know if there was some damage sustained to the 51 or not, but nevertheless, he edged you out for the stage, but never saw him really much after that. You won stage 2 and then eventually the race, man. Tell us about it.
Yeah, that stage points count. So we were racing real hard for that stage 1, and I just cooked my tires. So I got in front of him, but man, tires were done. So he was able to get back around me. So that sucks. But that was some hard racing. So shout out to Kyle there. And then I went on my long run strategy at the end. So that paid out pretty well too. So I'm just glad to pull a win here and stage 2.
Fun sprint race to watch. What can we expect at Kern here in a little bit?
Well, now that I believe I'm in the lead for points, Kyle's going to be coming after me, so I got a target on my back, so hopefully that goes my way.
It's all what we hope to have happen. Brian, congratulations, man. Good luck at Kern here in just a little bit.
Thank you.
It's Brian McCann, your race winner here at Richmond. Next, we're going to talk to Brandon Mefford. Quickly get a word into our runner-up finisher, Brandon Mefford. Steven, HBR TV. Got us?
I got you, bub.
Brandon, congratulations. We'll make it relatively short and sweet. Want to talk about the battle and then some contact with the 93 of James Pileski. I caught it kind of last minute. Tell us about it from your perspective. What exactly happened there? I think it was off turn number 2.
Yeah, we got a little loose. Got a little tight and then a little loose there. I think he bounced off the wall back down into me, but I probably didn't leave him enough room to make that corner. So my apologies out to him if that was the case. Just good hard racing. Had to get by him so I could start saving that right front tire and try to make it to the end.
Certainly a fun race to watch. Lots of action. Even though we got a short car count, you guys have certainly made it look good regardless. We're looking forward to more of that here at Kern County here in just a little bit. How do you feel about Kern County? A little bit smaller racetrack, maybe a little bit closer quarters. You got a shot at making this one a win here at the end of the season?
Yeah, it races a little bit like Slinger, so the corners do anyways, but you got the straightaways that are a lot wider and a lot longer, so feel pretty good about going there and battling these guys for the win here.
Looking forward to it, Brandon. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in race 2.
Thanks, Steve.
Brandon Mefford, your runner-up. Next, we're going to talk to Kyle Terzak. I'm real curious to see what Kyle has to say about how this race progressed on. Kyle, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Kyle, a good run here nonetheless. You sound frustrated immediately. I can kind of understand that. You seemed fast out of the gate. You won that first stage. Was it a matter of just maybe some damage with the contact with McCann in that first stage, or was it, I don't know, he took right sides, you took 4. Did the car seem to handle worse on 4 versus 2?
No, it's just the issue is that it's dirty air, and iRacing is dirty air. It's just terrible. As soon as you get into it, might as well just say bye to it right front. And once again, it prevailed, and yeah.
Well, we can look forward to Kern County here in the next few minutes, the final race of the season. I think this win puts McCann in front. What's the strategy going into Kern here? Is it just hammer down and go after it, or what?
Win everything.
Win it all. Kyle Terzak, man, a few words. Congratulations, man. Good luck in the next one.
Thank you.
With that, folks, we're going to step aside, get a break out of the way, and we will be back shortly here at Kern County Raceway for the season finale of the IROC Challenge Series. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Apromitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Going to try and stop Smith. He drops down below, throws the block, up the racetrack, throws another block. McCann goes to the outside, 3 wide for the race lead in the win here at Daytona. Crosses the stripe and we're all reckoning. Brian McCann takes the checkered flag. Blaze has newer tires, 6 laps newer to be specific. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He makes some contact with Zach Millett. Millett drops it back to the bottom. Off of turn number 4 for the final time. Zach Millett's going to win through the trial for the final time. And oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short's going to win this. He does. Vincent Short wins. one of California's most unique racing playgrounds. Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway opened in 2013. Located in Bakersfield, California, the track was built about 30 miles west of the former Mesa Marin Raceway, another half-mile paved oval that held races from 1977 through 2005, including 9 Craftsman Truck Series events. In late 2023, the track was purchased by Tim and Lisa Huddleston, owners of Irwindale Speedway and Event Center, and renamed Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway in honor of the NASCAR legend and Bakersfield native. Kern Raceway's paved oval features progressive banking in the corners, starting at 12 degrees at the bottom of the track and rising to 14 degrees at the top, as well as 8 degrees of banking on the straightaways. Turns 1 and 2 are raised slightly higher than the straightaways, and turns 3 and 4. Alongside the paved oval, which is a regular host of the ARCA Menard Series West and other stock car events. Tonight, it's the IROC Challenge Series Championship Race, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to race number 2 of the evening and the final race of the season, the IROC Challenge Series presented by RS12 Esports. 100 laps the race distance, yet another sprint race here at Kern County. 78-degree track temperature, nice and cool as the sun sets in the background. Drivers with a full load of fuel, 3 sets of tires over the wall. 3 opportunities at green-white checkered finishes, which I don't anticipate being necessary this evening, and 3 sets of tires available over the wall. Again, also not expecting them to use all of those. Likely maybe 1 set, or in some cases maybe right sides only, as we saw recently here at Richmond. Practice underway, or complete for that matter. Qualifying underway here at the Speedway. Let's go down trackside, follow the action. Kyle Turzak, we talked to him post-race from Richmond just a moment ago. Wasn't too pleased. Ran an 18:32. That's his fast time for now. We'll see what Brian McCann has to offer as he sits in pit lane. Wait just a moment. It's Timmy Schofield back on the track. First lap of 19:081. I don't know if this is just an extra lap here for some practice. Turned 1 and then called it done. Maybe he'll go back out here and turn some more, but nevertheless, Chris Wally on the Speedway. In the true number 51, Turzak technically the 051. Wally is one of the drivers, one of the admins, really one of the guys running this series. Certainly not by himself, has some help out there. 18:71 his first lap. Brandon Mefford in 18:49 on his first attempt. Second quick. A little loose off turn number 2. That's going to probably throw away his second lap. James Pileski. (19:1:21), fifth quick for James Pileski. Meanwhile, Brian McCann out on the racetrack. See if he's got anything. 18:41 for the first lap. We'll stick with him for the second lap. See if he can knock Turzak off the pole. Remember, McCann started outside front row at Richmond. Took home the win. Unable to sweep as Turzak took the stage 1 win. Crossed the stripe. McCann goes 18:3:91. Not enough to knock Turzak off that top spot, but that's going to do it for qualifying here at Kern County. Want to make note here coming into this race after Richmond, point standings are as follows. We've got Brian McCann on top of the board by 13 points over Kyle Turzak. Brandon Mefford is third in the running, 18 points back. And then Tim Schofield is fourth, 23 points back. Those are the 4 eligible drivers to win tonight's championship. It may really just come down to finishing positions, but I don't know. I think it's really just going to come down between Brian McCann and Kyle Turzak, though don't count out Brandon Mefford or Tim Schofield. Either one of those drivers can certainly walk away with the title here this evening. We'll see how that plays out throughout the course of this race, albeit going to be a short one, 100 laps, the race distance as we talk, same as Richmond. A little bit smaller track, though. It may get done a little bit faster than we had planned. With that, though, we still have some time left. We're going to step aside for a short break. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Welcome back to Kern County. We're going to take a look here at our starting grid on the pole position with a lap time of 18.323 seconds. It's the 051 of Kyle Turzak outside, front row, the current points leader, Brian McCann, 68 thousandths of a second shy. Row number 2, it's James Pileski and Brandon Mefford. Row number 3, Chris Wally and Tim Schofield. Shotgun on the field, it's the 34 of Doug Wysocki. Field ready to get rolling here. Still waiting for one driver to get gridded up. That would be Chris Wally. Again, let's take a look at the race information once again. 100 laps the race distance to decide a champion here this evening. 78-degree ambient temp, 45% humidity under partly cloudy skies. 2-mile-per-hour breeze, 78-degree track temperature. Drivers have a full load of fuel at 100%. 3 sets of tires available over the wall, though. Again, I highly doubt we'll see them change them more than once. Field begins to roll away. Twisted Gaming in the stream chat says, the champion will be me. Don't let him fool you. I think Twisted Gaming, if I remember correctly, is the race official this evening. First pace lap complete. Will be green the next time by. For yet another 100 laps here at Kern County Raceway. Should get this one done in a hurry. Pace car is in as we wait for Barney to throw the final starting green flag on this season.
Green flag.
Command is given. Green flag waves. We're underway from Kern County. Turzak leads them to lap number 1. Battle for second. Pileski to the inside of Brian McCann. McCann's got his hands full with the number 93 of James Pileski as he loses that second spot. Crosses over, looking for it back. There's a 51 to wall. He's loose off turn number 2. Hammers down the brakes and saves it. Doesn't hit the wall, but he's going to be in the rears big time early on here at Kern. Meanwhile, still the battle for second spot. Brian McCann under pressure now from Brandon Mefford. Now he wants that third position while Turzak gets away. Turzak scrapes the wall just a bit, coming to start finish. Minimal damage, if any. Pileski still runs second. McCann back in that third position. Again, post-race, folks, I'm gonna have to hold here when this one's over to get the determination on who the champion actually ends up being. Obviously a very close battle here tonight. Oh, the 12 loose off the 2 as well, and the caution comes out.
Big crash.
Not so much a big crash, but the 12 goes around, puts us under our first yellow early on here at Kern County. It's going to let Chris Wally get caught up. Meanwhile, Schofield trying to get that race car straightened out and headed back down the road. Let's take a look at the incident here with the 12 of Tim Schofield just a moment ago. Off turn 2, starts to get loose just as he gets back to the power, and a lazy slide almost looks identical to the one Chris Wally had at the start. So there we have it. First yellow of the night for cause across 2 races. Now the question will be, does anybody even bother to pit? It is relatively early. We've only run, I think, about 6 laps under green prior to the yellow coming out. May not be a benefit early on, but maybe a benefit late in the run. And again, with only 7 cars on the racetrack and 3 sets of tires to play with, Tim Schofield looks to be the only driver taking advantage of that. We'll see if that plays into things later on tonight. As this race continues on, we'll have to see if this handful of lap tire advantage makes a difference here late. Again, keeping in mind the stages will be 25 and 50. Caution will be thrown for the first stage, not for the second. Schofield takes rights only. I think that was just to stay on the lead lap. May have time to jump down and take the lefts as well. No, he stays out. So field doubled up once again here. We'll get the green flag here at lap 11. Get this one back underway. Green flag back in the air. Turzak with a good jump. Pileski with a good reaction. And the battle for third, Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford. Mefford to the outside in the red and black, number 83. McCann down low in the 3 machine. We've seen a lot of teamwork between these two this season, but in this final championship race, both drivers are eligible. I don't expect to see a whole lot of teamwork between the two of them. Yes, they might cut each other a break here or there, but they're battling each other as well. Mefford takes the third spot. Brian McCann slips back to P4. Kyle Turzak mentioned previously when we talked to him post-race from Richmond how even on these short tracks, these late model stocks, dirty air really does come into play, at least on the iRacing side of things. Really causes that right front tire to burn up. Top four single file off turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Really the whole field still single file. Not a huge battle going on with anybody at this point. Chris Wally in the 5th spot though, feeling the pressure from Tim Schofield. Schofield looking to the inside. Remember, he did take new right side tires. He's taking full advantage of it. Not a huge differential between the two, but he takes the spot. Moves Schofield up into the top 5. Chris Wally back to P6. Brian McCann getting closer to Mefford once again, wants that 3rd spot back. Needs to work his way towards the front of the field if he wants to do anything with Kyle Turzak, but he's got a couple of fast cars in between himself and Turzak. As if passing Kyle Turzak wasn't hard enough, you got to get through these guys just to get there. On board with Brandon Mefford, looking back to P4, Brian McCann. Mefford driving it in pretty deep. McCann backing out his entry just a bit so he can get the power down a little bit sooner, but not gaining a ton of ground yet. Drives it real well off turn number 2. Gets closed up to within 2/10. Top 3 drivers the last lap all ran 18.59 seconds. Turzak, Pileski, Mefford. Identical lap times that last time by. That's the battle right now. Pileski a little wiggle off turn number 4. Draws Brandon Mefford a little bit closer to that back bumper, which also draws Brian McCann closer to the 83. Going to see some battling here between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place machines. Turzak's going to be smiling ear to ear for that one here as he can try to get away if they start to fight it out for those spots. Remember, stage breaks at lap 25 and 50. We're about to put lap 25 on the board. Turzak still well in command of this one, trying to gobble up some more points as he crosses the stripe. Final lap of the stage. Still watching this battle from 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Turzak unchallenged in the race lead. Down the back straightaway, on his way to some more points. Off turn number 4, Turzak will take the stage win. And there's our caution. Took a minute, but we got it. Turzak with the stage win. Interestingly, again, Turzak, Pileski both ran the same lap time at the end of the stage. Mefford was only 200ths shy. McCann was 100th shy, and Schofield was 300ths shy. Unreal. Field hits pit lane. Likely their first and only stop of the night. Now let's see the strategies this time. Turzak. Bit of an angle on pit entry, right side tire change for the 051 machine. Drops the jack. And down he goes. 2 tires only for Kyle Turzak. Down and away. So they know the deal. Let's pull our stage winner, Kyle Turzak, into the booth and get his feelings on things. Kyle, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
There.
Kyle, nice job there in that stage 1 win, picking up some extra points once again. This place seems to suit your driving style a little bit better. Is this feeling pretty good for a championship tonight?
I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to find out. I feel like that we got a good piece right here, and with the limited practice, I think that's definitely helped me with how many laps I turned here, and hope I can close it out. But it's not over.
All right, Kyle. Good luck to the finish, man.
Thank you.
It's Kyle Turzak, your stage 1 winner, certainly looking to try and lock this one up here tonight. You can hear the pressure in his voice. He's feeling it. You know he's got the talent behind the wheel, whether it's in a real-life late model or here in iRacing. He's got 16 wins on this season. Unbelievable record, but it comes down to this one here at Kern. He's got to perform. He's got to win this thing. He's got to get it done if he wants that championship. We'll see if he can seal the deal here tonight. Take home that title. Brandon Mefford giving a little bump to the 51. Pace car lights are out, so we're quickly going to go right back at it here. It'll be 70 laps to go as the green comes out. Green in the air. Pileski spins the tires just a bit, but he gets a good jump. In fact, he beats Turzak to the start-finish line. Don't know if it cost him too terribly much. They work off turn number 2. Mefford to the inside of Brian McCann for the 3rd spot. Side by side they run. Oh boy, Brian McCann, I thought he was going to hit the wall big time off turn number 4. Kept it off the concrete. Keeps it on the pavement. Down the backstretch once again. Top 2 is Turzak. Pileski still the battle for a 3rd. Mefford still not quite clear of McCann. Off turn 4 again. McCann shoots up the racetrack. Still stays to the right elbow of Brandon Mefford. Mefford finally gets clear of Brian McCann for that 3rd spot. Just a reminder, stage 2, completion of lap 50, will not have a caution, very much like the first race tonight at Richmond. We got a battle for second. Brandon Mefford looking to the inside of James Pileski. Pileski tried to throw the block, but Mefford still to the inside. Off turn 4, has to tuck back in behind, across the stripe, remains in the 3rd spot. Didn't want to push too hard because then he would risk opening the door to Brian McCann. Still the battle for the 2nd spot. Half a car length between Pileski and Mefford. Closes down to about a yard between the 2 of them. Pileski still a half car length off the race leader, Kyle Turzak. I think Kyle's being smart about this one here. Still out in front. Took right sides only on the pit stop, as well as I think just about, well, half the field. You had Schofield, Wally, and Wysocki. They took 4. Everybody else on 2. 2 tires seemed to be the difference there early on in the first race of the night at Richmond. as it runs here tonight. Terzak still out in front. Pileski second. Brandon Mefford is third. Just curious if the dirty air is really affecting these drivers the same here as it did at Richmond, those that are in traffic. Got to take care of that right front tire if that's the case. Brian McCann, I think he's really struggling there in that fourth position in that dirty air. Tim Schofield still in the fifth position, up one spot from qualifying. Chris Wally still in it here in P6. Doug Wysocki rounding out the field in seventh, but just a few car lengths off the back bumper of Chris Wally. Terzak still in command, a car length back to Pileski. Again, Pileski's running a limited basis here this season. He's got 7 starts plus a win. As it is, Pileski still 5th in points. Top 4 still all within viewing distance of each other. Brian McCann rounding out that group. Schofield in 5th. About 5, 6, 7 car lengths back from the top 4. Just a few laps shy of halfway on the end of stage 2. Right on board here with Brian McCann in the 4th position. You can see those 3 drivers just ahead, but it doesn't appear he's able to do anything with them at this point. I think Terzak realizes he's got a friend behind him in that 2nd position that may not push the issue too hard. Almost acting like a lead blocker for everybody behind him. Which some guys might frown upon that, some don't. But if you think about it, if you're old enough to think about it, back in the day when guys like Dale Sr. were up for a championship, Childress would always throw in, well, an extra car. Someone would pick up that number 31 machine and drive it, whether it was a Jeff Green, a Mark Green, maybe a Mike Skinner, or really anybody that was willing to turn a wheel just to get an extra car out there, whether it was for a lead blocker or to take up a finishing position somewhere in the field so that if something happened to the 3, he would still be able to secure that title. Always good to have friends at any race, or so here at a championship race. Call it insurance. And let's be serious here for a moment. Terzak, regardless of the strategies or anything about it, he's earned it. If he can pull this championship off here tonight, he is clearly the one that deserves it. He's won 16 races this season. He's been almost untouchable. Had a little struggles on the road courses, but maybe an oval here or there. But for the most part, out of these 22 races, you win 16 of them. Yeah, he's got to make it work tonight, but certainly a worthy champion if it comes down to it. Stage 2 obviously complete here, 55 laps in. Was Turzak, Pileski, Mefford, McCann, Schofield, then Wally and Wysocki. "56 laps complete here from Kern County. We're going to step aside, get our HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back in Kern County, you saw it there in the side-by-side. Brandon Mefford and James Pileski going at it hard for the second spot. Ultimately, something had to give, and unfortunately for the 83 of Brandon Mefford, it was him. Around he went. Caution on the speedway. He's trying to get caught back up. Seemingly not very pleased with the 93. We'll see what happens here, if anything. Yeah, there it is. Not pleased. Oh, and around he goes again. Certainly some action here at the speedway. Let's go back here and get a look at it again. We'll rewind this a little bit further because there's certainly more to the story than just that one incident. These drivers are beating and banging for the position, really trying to get them going. You saw it here live, but here it is. A little bit of contact. Quite a bit of contact. Door slam off of turn 2. And they went down into 3. More contact. Little spin. Around he goes. So going back on things, Turzak still remains with the race lead. Took 2 tires again. So did James Pileski. So did Brian McCann. Timmy Schofield, Doug Wysocki, Brandon Mefford, and Chris Wally appear to have all taken 4 tires. Now, we didn't get to really see this in the first race as we had the stage caution at 25 and then nothing thereafter. Now, we had the stage caution at 25 here tonight. But at lap 66, we have a natural caution and some drivers going for 4 versus 2. See if that really pays off. Tim Schofield, the first driver on the track with 4 tires. He's going to restart in the 4th spot. See if he can carry that a little bit further. Maybe pick up a surprise win here tonight. Be his first of the season. Remember, Brandon Mefford's got 2 wins on the season. McCann with 6. James Pileski with 1. Again, Pileski's only made 8 starts this season. Pace car is in as we get ready to go back to the green flag.
Green flag.
Terzak with a big jump. Good reaction again by Pileski. Third place. Possibly contested. Schofield, no, backs out of it. Back to start finish. 31 laps to go. Terzak out in front. Pileski second. McCann in third. Want to make mention, those of you that might be headed up to Watkins Glen International this weekend for the IMSA 6 hours, the WeatherTech sports car 6 hours of the Glen. If you had any interest in stopping at the sticker shop in town, unfortunately they were raided by police last night. I don't think they're going to be open. So plan ahead, folks. Terzak remains out in front. The battle is strong for the second spot. Pileski's got it for now, but McCann was right there to the back bumper just a moment ago. Let's go on board with the 3. Terzak checking out. Brian McCann still trying to make way here and get around the 93 of Pileski. Great battle for position here in the second spot, but Brian McCann's running out of time. He's got to do something with the 93 here if he wants to try and run down Terzak. McCann scrapes the wall a bit out of turn number 2, just trying to find any opportunity here to get alongside Pileski and make the move. .20 laps to go from Kern County. Terzak still out in front, trying to cruise his way to a championship. Pileski, the fly in the ointment of Brian McCann. Brian trying to get around for that second spot, trying to close the gap the best he can And there he is, crossover, looking to the inside. Gets alongside the 93 into turn number 1. He is there, but can he complete it? Drives it down to the bottom, gets the car to turn very well, but Pileski has the run off at turn number 2. Gets back clear of the 3 once again. Turzak enjoying a 1 second plus lead over James Pileski. I'm starting to wonder here what the situation is. My initial thought was Pileski might be trying to hold up Brian McCann, but he's really not. He's a half a tenth slower than Turzak. That's not a lot. McCann's running the same pace as Turzak, just can't get clear of James Pileski right now. So McCann's got something for him if he can get clear of the 93. That's proving more and more difficult as he is running out of time. Less than 16 laps to go, and about to be 15 to go. Still watch this fight for the second spot. McCann right there, going to give a little bumper to the 93. Oh, he spins them down into turn number 3. Caution comes out.
Boston, you're doing a good job. You want to give us an update on that card?
You guys saw it from the blimp. It's, if you ask me, it's indisputable, but we'll go back and look at it anyway. It's just a moment ago. Just gets right into the back of him, sends the 93 around. So McCann's going to come to pit lane, and I don't know if this is admin related or if he's just going to try and wing it here and get some tires. I don't know if there's enough time for that to even be effective. We'll see. Right sides only for Brian McCann. Well, it certainly got interesting. I'll give you that much. Chris Wally's going to hit pit lane as well. Maybe for tires, maybe to call it a night. Hard to say. Has to back it up. The fact that he backed it up tells me he's just getting some tires. He'll get back out there. Pace car lights are off. We're going to go back to the green here in just a moment. So McCann dropped to the tail.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Turzak with the early jump. Gets to the top spot. Gets clear of Brandon Mefford. Oh, trouble! Pileski gets turned again down the back straightaway. Caution is out another time. And I'm not certain, but that might have been off the nose of Brian McCann yet again. Let's get a gander at this one. No, this time it wasn't McCann. It was off the nose of Doug Wysocki. I'm going to back this up a little bit further, see if we can get a better look at it. slow things down a bit. Looks like the 93 did just come up into the 34. It was not quite clear. So what does that do to the situation? That's going to put us with a restart here. Just a few laps remaining. Top two, first row will be Turzak and Mefford, and row two will be Schofield and McCann. Ironically, those are the drivers all eligible to win this title here tonight. McCann, Turzak, Mefford, and Schofield. I'd stick around for this one, guys, especially post-race. I don't know if we're going to have some angry interviews or not, but it may be interesting at the very least. Sure to get the one to go the next time by. That'll give us a 5-lap shootout to the finish. There it is. Pace car lights have gone off. Getting ready to settle this. Pace car is in. Little door banging coming to the stripe. Green flag in the air. Perfectly timed by Brandon Mefford. Stays alongside Turzak into 1 and 2. Drag race down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Turzak with the inside. Drives it down to the bottom. Slips up the track just a bit. Clears Mefford. Mefford trying to cross over. He's looking to the inside down into turn number 1. Does he have it? He gets there alongside just enough to keep Turzak from dropping down to the bottom. They switch lanes. Turzak in the fence. Mefford goes around. Caution is out once again as Mefford makes contact with Turzak off turn number 2, and around he goes. Both drivers were out of shape. Let's look at it here once again. Yeah, Turzak got out of shape, hit the wall, came down, made a little bit of contact with Mefford, and around he went. I don't know if Turzak got the wall. He was certainly loose on exit, but I don't know if he hit the wall or not. No, didn't hit the wall, but was definitely loose. You can tell these guys are giving it all they got here in the latter stages. Looks like we're going to go to NASCAR overtime, or IROC overtime for that matter. Late model stock's not really a NASCAR series by any means. So this is going to put Tim Schofield to the outside of Kyle Turzak on the restart. Brian McCann will restart behind the 051. Well, get ready, folks. Pace car lights are out, which means one thing. We're getting ready to go back to the green flag. Our first attempt at a green-white checkered finish. 3 attempts if necessary. The way this works, green comes out. Next flag to be thrown is the white, and then that's that. If the caution comes out before the leader takes the white, we line them up and we try it again. Pace car is in. Barney with the green in hand. Green is in the air. We're back racing. Turzak with a great jump this time. McCann to the inside of Tim Schofield, but is there enough time to catch Kyle Turzak? Remember, McCann took some tires, but the temperature is down on Turzak's machine as well, so that might be a benefit to the 051. Out of turn number 4, white flag, final lap from Kern County. Turzak in there. McCann, trouble. Tim Schofield gets into the 3, sends McCann around. Pileski is around as well. Schofield continues into the second spot. Turzak out of turn number 4. He's going to take the checkered flag and win it here at Kern County. Kyle Turzak, your race winner in a thrilling green-white checkered finish. Certainly a happy man behind the wheel of that machine. So your top 3 is Turzak, Schofield, and Wysocki. Parks it here at start finish. We're going to step aside, get our break out of the way, and be back hopefully with our top 3 after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yes, sir!
Congratulations, Kyle. An awesome run here tonight. Dominant performance. Had to hold off some restarts there, but tell us about it. Those last restarts plus the green-white checkered had to hold those guys off.
Yeah, you know, James, he came to my VC after the race, and he was like, yo, can I help you? I was like, I didn't say go ahead, but if you want to, go ahead. I have nothing to do with it, though. And he stayed in there, and, you know, it was just all about saving. You know, those first 25, I just really saved my tires. And we had that long green flag run after the first stage caution. We had a caution around 60. I don't know what happened back there. All James said was that they were racing hard, and he was keeping Mefford behind. And all I know was after that, it was a yellow. And then me and Mefford raced out. I think it's a racing deal, but he thinks otherwise, of course. But you know, I just got tight, and I got pushed loose off the corner, and I just got loose, and I tried to save the car, but it was too late. So I apologize to that camp, and I don't even know what happened behind me. I haven't even took it back to the replay yet. All I know is I think Tim had enough of McCann or something. I don't know what happened back there, but we got it done. Finally, after like 5 months, I've been waiting for this moment. Feels like it's been a whole year, but you know, thank you for broadcasting this entire season. Thank you for everyone who showed up. I know the car count was pretty low, but hey, we don't look at that. We look at how the races performed, and I feel like that we put on one heck of a show all season.
Tonight especially, I mean, this one didn't start out as super exciting as Richmond did, but man, it certainly came together with those cautions there late. In reference to your incident with Brandon Mefford, I mean, the way we saw it here on the broadcast side of things, it was kind of the same thing. You got a little bit loose and had to correct it as you were coming down the track. Contact was made. I mean, you guys are racing hard for a win there at the end of this thing. I know from tempers are probably flaring a little bit right now, but I think if they look at it and calm down a bit, I think things will be okay as far as that's concerned. The issue, I think it was lap 60. I think it was McCann and James. They came together, and around he went, bringing that caution out. And then later again, Schofield looks like he paid McCann back. I don't know if there was something going on there, but yeah, McCann went around, and that was that. Looking back on it, the battle between you and Brandon Mefford, it was aggressive, certainly, but did you think you had enough at that point, or were the demons starting to creep into your mind there as to, I don't know if this guy's going to get me or not?
Yeah, I honestly thought I was going to get moved or possibly junked because, you know, it's for a championship, and a lot of people do a lot for a championship, and I just knew to stay calm, and on those restarts, I needed to get as far as possible ahead on the first lap, and it seemed like it worked. And then Mefford timed the second restart perfectly, and he crossed me over, and that's when the incident happened. Like I said, I apologize to Brandon, but yeah.
Certainly a fun one to watch, Kyle. Again, congratulations not only on the win and the bushel full of wins you had here this season, plus the championship. Are we going to see you run the next season coming up here in August with, I think, some different race cars?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm just depending on what the schedule looks like. Hopefully I'll have most of the tracks. I think if it depends if I have the tracks. That is the key.
All right, Kyle. Well, again, congratulations, man. An awesome season, an awesome championship race. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you get going?
Like I said, Chris for putting this whole thing on. I had a ton of blast. You for putting this amazing broadcast on, and all the league sponsors, Zoom Setup Shop, everybody who's watching. I know Dad's working right now. Hello, Dad. Get it? Yeah. And everybody else who's watching.
Well, Dad can go back and watch it after the fact. Either way, congratulations, man. Thanks for chatting to us. Good luck in anything you do going forward.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kyle Turzak, your race winner and champion here at Kern County. We're going to pull Timmy Schofield up into the broadcast booth, our second place finisher, albeit with a little bit of, controversy maybe here in the closing laps. Tim, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Steve.
Tim, congratulations, man. A second place finish to close out this season. A strong run. It just shows that it pays to stick with it and get after it there late as you can. Took advantage of some new tires there later on in the race, but let's walk through the last couple of laps, specifically the contact with yourself and Brian McCann. I don't want to throw you under the bus, but it seemed a little egregious, but maybe let's get your side of it. Was there more to the story than what we saw on the broadcast?
He was clearly faster than me and got me on the last restart there. I wasn't trying to wreck him. I just wanted to rattle his cage a little.
Good man.
No, I had no intentions of touching him in the corner. I just had a little bit of a last-ditch effort at a run to try to keep up, and I messed it up. But, definitely not the way I wanted to get that position.
Well,
he knows that.
Brian McCann, I mean, his only saving grace here tonight, your even saving grace, I guess you could say, is McCann really needed to win this thing. And at that stage of the race, you guys were battling. Turzak was checked out. I don't think anybody was catching him at that point. So it was really a race between you guys. It's a racing deal. You guys are driving inches apart at speed. Those things do tend to happen once in a while, and I'm sure he's cool with it. If not, I'm sure you'll chat it out and get things squared away after this one's all said and done. But looking forward to things here. I think we're coming up in sometime in the month of August. We're going to restart, I think it's season 9 of the IROC Challenge Series. I think we're jumping into some cup cars. Not sure exactly which ones, but that's just kind of a teaser. Are we going to see the old number 12 out there?
Oh, you bet. I'll be out there.
Certainly looking forward to it. Tim, again, congratulations. A great season, a great finish here tonight. Certainly action-packed. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
I want to thank Brian McCann for letting me by on that last lap, and thank everyone for racing tonight. Hopefully we'll have a nice, rich field for season 9. Looking forward to racing with these guys again. So thanks for you for broadcasting, and Wally for putting this on.
All right, Tim. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in the next season.
Thank you. Take care.
Tim Schofield, your second place finisher here at Kern County. Doug Wysocki finishes out in the third position, but it looks like Doug has headed to the house. He is gone for the evening, so we won't get a chance to talk to Doug here on that one. No worries. It is what it is. I'm sure we'll chat at some point or another in the upcoming season. But with that, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, Kyle Turzak was the winner. Tim Schofield came home second after that big melee out of, I think it was turn 2. In fact, we'll go back and look at that before this one's out. Doug Wysocki, of course, was third. James Pileski finished fourth. McCann was fifth. Brandon Mefford was sixth. And Chris Wally rounds out in the 7th spot. So, yes, let's go back, try to get a look at that one here, see if we can let's get a better idea of this wreck between Tim Schofield and Brian McCann before we get off air here. Just want to take a quick gander at things. Yeah, Tim jumped down to the inside, made a little bit of contact. So while McCann's trying to save it, Schofield gets back to the gas, sends McCann up the racetrack. Pileski checked up for it a little bit, but Mefford's like, it's the last lap, boys. It's time to go. Wysocki sneaks through. That's how he picks up that third spot. A good job maneuvering through the wreck for the 34, but that's really what it comes down to. We'll watch it one more time. Almost looks like Tim thought that Brian was going to just save it and lose some track position, but that's not really how it went down. And you see Wysocki just sneaking through the three of them. What a finish. That's going to wrap it up for us here at HBR TV. Thank you all for tuning in all season long, even through the reduced car counts. Those of you that stuck around, you got a treat, because even with the short fields, man, these guys really did put on a good show. It certainly got a lot cleaner. Some heroics and some chaos here at the end of this one, but we expected that being the championship race. Again, next season's going to come up here in August, and we're going to be running. It's going to be a little bit different from what I understand. It's going to be Cup cars. Not 100% sure on which ones, but it's going to be one generation Cup car versus another generation Cup car. So that's going to be interesting, almost class racing, so to speak, but I think they're going to split this up as far as ability levels. The faster guys will take one style vehicle, and the not so faster guys will take a different style vehicle, so that, well, it helps keep the car counts up throughout the course of the season. You got guys that feel like they still have a shot, even though, you know, there might be a really fast guy in the other class, but okay, well, I'm in this class, but I can still compete against these guys. So almost two different championships being competed for within the race. So we'll see how that plays out going into August. All that going to be broadcasted right here at HBR TV. So stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out for those posts on YouTube. If you haven't already liked the channel, please go ahead and do that. Like the broadcast, share it, subscribe, all the good stuff. It helps us here at the channel. Certainly gets some fresh eyeballs on the channel and what we're doing here at HBR TV. It also gets some new eyes from the iRacing world on the IROC Challenge Series. Get some possible new drivers, some new blood into the series. Kyle Turzak, relatively new blood to the series this year, and you see how he dominated. I'd love to see him and Aaron Smith go at it here in August. Those two guys have just been lights out in their respective disciplines. We'll see how things play out here as we jump into the next season. With that, thank you guys all again. Certainly the IROC Challenge Series, Chris Wally, Dan Pinkston, Brian Rick, all those guys that have a big part of this, all the admins here in IROC. We do appreciate being a part of this great series. You guys have done a good job here, and you continue it on moving into Season 9 here in August. With that said, congratulations again, Kyle Turzak, on his 17th win of the season and the title, the championship here in the IROC Challenge Series, presented by RS12 Esports. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.